Welcome to Seize the Mains by Raj Malhotra's IAS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is season 3 of our daily answer writing initiative. As you know that we have linked this initiative with our 2:30 p.m. weekly current affairs discussion that happens on a subject wise basis from Monday to Saturday. Yesterday the subject was regarding your polity and governance, and hence we have taken an issue which is regarding juvenile justice system. What you can do is write your own answer by taking the guidance from this video. Go to our website in the mains answer writing section and there you will see a list of questions. The link to the question that we are discussing today is there in the description below. Click on that link, go to our website, post the answer for this answer or for this question or for tomorrow's question, that is about central bank digital currency. Post it on our website and get it evaluated by our experts entirely free of cost. So the discussion for today begins. The question says, put some light on the juvenile justice system in India. Has the system adequately evolved with the demands of time? Justify. So first part does ask you to put some light on the juvenile justice system in India. So you have to tell what are the provisions in place for delivering adequate justice to the juveniles in India and protecting their rights. So this is your first part. This is very simple. You just need to be aware of the laws and the evolution of juvenile justice system, and you have to talk about it. The second part is, has the system adequately evolved with the demands of time? Justify. So in the second part, basically you will be discussing what are the loopholes. In the current affairs discussions also we have been discussing that there are some loopholes with the juvenile justice system, especially when it comes to rehabilitation. So has the system adequately evolved with the demands of time? Does the juvenile justice system in India understand the psychology of adolescents or people who are under the age of 18? Does it understand their psychology or their capacity to commit crimes, and does it provide adequate rehabilitation measures? So in the second part we will be discussing the loopholes and with regards to time, with regards to evolution of society, and justify is the directive here. So you have to justify by giving some provisions, by giving some examples, and that's how then we'll conclude our answer by giving a way forward that what is required, and that will also frame our conclusion. The answer has to be in 250 words. 250 words or 150 words, they are very less to adequately fit in the knowledge that you have with regards to any topic when you're preparing for civil services. But yes, if some measures are employed, then the answer can be adequately addressed. So in the introduction system, first of all talk about what is juvenile delinquency and what is juvenile justice system about. So first of all you talk about juvenile delinquency. It refers to the involvement of minors in illegal activities and crimes. This is all. When the actions of a juvenile prove to be dangerous towards the normal cause of the functioning of a society, that is when we categorize that person, जब उस इंसान को, उस बच्चे को एक juvenile delinquent का करार दिया जाता है. So this is about juvenile delinquency till here, and this is your introduction paragraph. 2 lines for explaining juvenile delinquency, they are more than enough. What is its definition and how do we categorize people? Now we'll talk about juvenile justice system. Juvenile justice system का मतलब क्या है and what is its aim? So juvenile justice system is the most progressive and enlightened system adopted by the world citizenry with all-round growth of children. The prime focus is proper rehabilitation and to bring them back into the society. Proper punishment on one hand, the punishment that the child or the juvenile deserves as according to his or her age, and proper rehabilitation so his life doesn't get affected in the future years. So the prime focus is to reform the deviants and provide care to the unprotected child. In India, a person below the age of 18 years is considered a juvenile, and we'll study the provisions which are there in the law now. The juvenile justice system in India has kept pace with the needs of time. This was there, the statement of the question. We have reframed it, and now we'll explain that how has it kept pace with the needs of time. First of all, after independence for a very long time, the main focus was to protect the rights of children, to protect them from, you know, putting them into jails for the crimes that they commit out of immaturity. So after the independence, the constitution provided some provisions under fundamental rights and DPSPs to protect and develop children. The Children Act of 1960 was also brought up in this regard. Then we had the Juvenile Justice Act of 1986, which had some elaborate provisions about, and there was uniformity of the Children Act in this particular act, and it set the standard for the protection of juveniles as per the 1959 United Nations Declaration of the Child, which was signed in 1959, which was adopted in 1959. After that in the year 2000, more and more elaboration was done in the laws that were brought up. So there was Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act. So it is nowhere punishment has been mentioned, but care and protection of children in all these acts has been mentioned. So it had better terminology. For example, words like conflict with the law and need, care and protection, that were included. Juveniles which had a conflict with the law means which had which had given up to some unlawful activities, जिन्होंने कोई unlawful activities commit करी थी, so they are handled by the Juvenile Justice Board. And on the other hand, there is a Child Welfare Committee. अगर proper rehabilitation हो सकती है, कोई crime जो है कि छोटा है, तो वो चीज़ Child Welfare Committee handle करती है. People who need care and protection are handled by the Child Welfare Committee. Now the latest one, which was brought after the 2012 Nirbhaya rape case of Delhi, it was based on the recommendations of Justice J.S. Verma Committee, and it was a Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act of 2015 and the recent amendment of 2021. 2021 की जो amendment थी, it was about cognizable offences and adoption process को थोड़ा सा और streamline किया गया था. So in the 2015 Act, it was recognized for the first time in India that not only the numerical age, सिर्फ numerical age नहीं कि वो एक जो इंसान है वो 18 साल का या 18 years का है कि नहीं, not just the numerical age of 18, but the psychological age of a person has to be decided, and on that basis the person has to be dealt with. So हो सकता है किसी की psychological age 18 से ज़्यादा हो, 16 साल की उम्र में भी 18 से ऊपर उसकी psychological age हो, and he or she has committed a crime which is more than which is higher than what a child or a person of his or her age would have otherwise committed. So that had to be dealt on a case to case basis. हर person को अलग तरीके से deal किया जाना था. Every crime had to be dealt differently, and that was to be decided. Every case was to be decided by the Juvenile Justice Board. So it received impetus after the 2012 Delhi gang rape case. It was just said that one of the in that Delhi gang rape case also, one of the accused was just 17 years old. So in that cases where the crimes were to be determined, the nature of the crime and whether the juvenile should be tried as a minor or a child was to be determined by a Juvenile Justice Board. The Act streamlined adoption measures also. Earlier, adoption used to be carried out differently for Hindus. For Hindus, there was a different act. For Muslims, there was a different act. Those acts were not repealed, but there was streamlining done. CARA or Central Adoption Resource Authority was set up after this act, and streamlining of adoptions was conducted in the country. Adoptions have been streamlined in the country after this act. Now moving to the body para 2, we have given provisions that how juvenile justice system has evolved. We have put light on the juvenile justice system in India. Now we'll talk about the loopholes, that yes, it has evolved with the demands of time, but what are the loopholes there? So the first loophole is that it fails to address the root cause of juvenile delinquency. Yes, there are provisions of adoption, so that less and lesser children adopt, like get into drug abuse or criminal practices, and they can be adopted and get a better life. But that is just one of the provisions. Juvenile justice boards are also there, but the thing is that the root cause of juvenile delinquency lies somewhere else. Where does it lie? We'll study. So it fails to address that root cause. The second is term of sentence. The maximum term of sentence is 3 years. So what is the chance that in those 3 years of time, उन 3 साल के बीच वो जो एक इंसान ने crime commit किया है, the person who has committed the crime will be able to will be able to come out of that and come out as a changed person. So that is a question mark there. The third one is post completion of term and aftercare. So basically they have to go back again, they have to go back to the concerned authorities and report again and again. But since the population of India is so vast, so high in number, so there is absolute lack of implementation of the provisions of Juvenile Justice Act. After a juvenile completes his sentence, India's massive population makes it impossible to track and ensure that a juvenile once released continues with his therapy or rehabilitation, and even regularly reports to his parole officer. So after completion of his term, he or she has to report regularly to his or parole officer, but that does not take place in according to the provisions of the Juvenile Justice Act. The fourth one is juveniles are in adult jails. There have been many OTT series also telling that there are many criminals who get acquitted, many criminals who get jail terms and are waiting for the decisions of the judiciary to be actually released from jails, and in that time, usi time ke beech they become actual criminals. Even if they did not have a criminal background, they turn into criminals. So we do not have separate juvenile jails all over the country. What happens is that these juveniles, they are kept with actual criminals who are much elder in age to them and much efficient in committing crimes. So they actually turn into criminals when they are sent to normal jails or adult jails. The next part is way forward. Here we'll talk about that in the long run what we need to do. We need to tackle drug abuse. We need to tackle lack of attention that is coming from parents. It's not just from the poor families that, you know, criminals at this age group are coming out. It is from like well-to-do families also, because the authoritative behavior of parents is decreasing because they do not care or they are too busy earning money or earning for their families. So that is decreasing. The juveniles or these adolescents don't know where to put their energy towards. They are very curious. They do not know what to do ahead in life. So they put their energy in all wrong means, and since guidance is not available from the societal side, there are not elders in the family who to guide these people, to care for these people, so they do it outside their home. They carry out certain activities which are unacceptable to the society. So this is the problem that needs to be addressed. Their mental health needs to be taken care of. Psychologically they have to be taken care of, especially our educational curriculums. They need to be more diverse and more open towards the changing needs of society. So in the long run, child guidance clinics should be established in order to give appropriate treatment to the disturbed and maladjusted children. And apart from that, a lot of rehabilitation also has to be carried out. There are many people who commit crimes under the age of 18, you know, and they do not know what they are doing. But if proper rehabilitation measures can be carried out, proper therapeutic treatments can be given, then this problem can be addressed, and this has to come through the legal side only. Legally we need to get stronger with time, and that's how we can address the issue of juvenile delinquency. So being mindful of the dangerous trends of increasing aggression levels among children, our curriculum needs to heavily emphasize on the values of kindness, respect and empathy, with like contemporary examples, not just like the moral science books that, you know, get boring after a certain time and children cannot relate to, but with examples which are contemporary in nature, which through which children can relate to more. Moreover, community involvement needs to become a crucial facet of our curriculum. We need to recognize as parents, as siblings, as teachers that yes, this is a problem and we need to collectively address it as a community. So this was about the answer for today. The whole answer is available on our website. The link is in the description below. If you haven't written any answer till date, this is the right time. Go for it, write your first answer and get it evaluated by us. We'll see you with another discussion tomorrow.